Hello friends and welcome to the Southern Mountain Kitchen. Today we're going to make peach puff pastry. Alright, so what you see on my counter is literally all you need to make this, and there really is not that much involved to make something that tastes so good. Because, I mean, pastry is good just by itself, but the fact we're going to add peaches to it, and then at the end, if you want, you can actually make an icing to put over top of this, which is really great. But right now I'm just focusing on the peach and the puff pastry. The icing is later. Those are not on the counter right now. This is just something I want you to see what we're using to make these with. And the puff pastry comes from the refrigerator section. You're using some peaches that are meant to be pie filling. Mine were just regular peaches, but I actually thickened them up to make them pie filling. And once you get your puff pastry, you're just going to open this up and roll it out. It's so easy to use. So you want to preheat your oven to 425 degrees before we get going. And we're going to go ahead and look at this puff pastry. This stuff is like just ready to roll. It's oven ready. You don't have to do anything to it. What we have here is enough to make 8 of these. We're only going to make 4. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this into 4 rectangles. Just eyeballing it. You can measure it if you want to. And that's the pieces that we're going to use to do this. And then the rest of it can be put back in the refrigerator to use for a different time, where if you wanted to do another set of these or do something else. So I'm taking a pan for my oven. I'm going to cover that with some parchment paper, and then I'm going to spray it with some nonstick cooking spray. And then I'm going to bring my peaches over and stack them on top in a little pile each. So you're going to have 4 piles of these. I found that using about 3 pieces of peaches, 4 if they're smaller, is all you need to do this. So go ahead and bring them in and stack them in your piles. And you don't want the pile to be really large or really wide, because of the fact when you put the puff pastry over top of it, we're going to press it down onto the sheet all the way around the edges to keep these in place as we're baking. So we want to make sure that it's something that stays under the pastry. And what's really cool about this thin little pastry is this is going to poof up really thick, and it's going to be really wonderful. And you would think, wow, that came out of the refrigerator section, it's not going to do a good job. It really does. It really works. It's so easy, and anybody can make this. That's the best part of this. This is such an easy thing to do. Now, once we get all of these stacked in place, we're going to get ready to put our pastry over top of the peaches. And as I said, kind of push the peaches toward the center, and you want them to stay under the pastry. So take your fingers, push around the outside, and make sure that they are totally coated and everything is underneath, but you kind of made like a little roof over top of them. And the best thing about this is no matter how they are on the sheet right here, they're going to bake up poofy and really nice. And it's just wonderful because you can't really mess this up too much. I mean, really, it's a very easy process. Now, when these are completely done and in the oven, you're going to bake them for about 15 minutes. But I suggest you watch them while they're baking, because sometimes ovens run hotter than others. And we just want to make sure that we don't overcook the outside and make them brown. We just want them to be golden when they're finished. So once they are on our pan like this, we're going to go ahead and we have melted about 2 tablespoons of butter, and we're going to brush the tops of them with it. So that way we make sure that they are completely coated all the way around the top, all the way around the sides. So that way they're really great. But when they bake up, they're going to have a buttery outside, and we really like that. Plus the fact it's going to help them bake and crisp up. So go ahead and coat all of these. And then once we're done with this, we're actually going to use some sugar to put around the top of them, just to make sure that, they have a little sweet taste to them. So once you've gotten all your butter on, we're going to move to the sugar part. So set aside your brush or whatever you're using to put your butter on, and go ahead and bring your sugar in. And we're literally just going to do this by pinches. Just grab a pinch of sugar, go over top until you feel you put a decent amount on there. It doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't have to be whatever. It's just a pinch of sugar. And once these are all done, they go in the oven, and at 425 for 15 minutes, they come back looking like this. Now you need to let them cool before we can do anything else to them, because if you flip them right now, you're going to lose your peaches. So you need it to cool down before you can do the next step. So once this is set and cooling, we're going to go ahead and we're going to make some icing for these, which icing is really easy. It literally is some water, and then we have some confectioner sugar, and we're literally going to have maybe 2/3 of a cup of sugar to just a little bit of water. You're going to put the water in and mix it until you get the consistency that you want, to where it's thick enough to actually be, kind of thick enough to drop off of it, but not so thick. And then once we get this completely mixed up and everything is ready and it's not too runny, then we're going to take it to the actual cool down pastry, and we're just going to drizzle this where the peaches are. We're not trying to put it all over the place and everything. We just want a good even little drop of it over top of it, so that way it actually coats the peaches but not all of the outside of the pastry, because we don't want it all sticky when you're trying to pick it up. And once you do this, you are pretty much done and ready to eat these, and they're really great when they're warm. But anyway, this is what mine look like when they're done, and they are a pleasure to eat with a great sweet taste. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe. And if you get a chance, check out the Southern Mountain Kitchen website, where you can get a free recipe, check out the cookbooks available from the Southern Mountain Kitchen, and if you'd like to, you could order a cookbook at a discounted price, cheaper than Amazon, with shipping that is also cheaper than Amazon. So if you get a chance, check it out, and I hope you have a great day.